Activision Blizzard has posted an official response to the FTC suing Microsoft to stop the Activision Blizzard merger. There are probably going to be a few videos about this, but let's start looking at what Activision has to say about what has happened to stop this deal, a deal that they also want to go through. Let's dive in right now. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell to know when my content goes live. I greatly appreciate it. So we're going to hop on over to the official Activision website. And real quick, I just realized that all of my tabs and such are open. So let's fix that really quick. And then we're going to fix the white background here. It's very easy to do. And it's sort of a pet peeve of mine. Good enough for this video. But anyway, I don't know why their website's formatted like this, but here's the good stuff. This is an internal email that they sent out to Activision Blizzard staff. It reads as follows. There's a lot being said these days about our merger with Microsoft. I hope I didn't just close my OBS. However, much of what's out there lacks deep understanding of our industry. As part of our ongoing commitment to keep all of you updated on the merger, I wanted to take a moment to give you a quick process update and lay out the facts. So far, we've reached approval on our merger from several jurisdictions, and we're proceeding through the process in several others. Our engagements with global regulators have been constructive, productive, and generally quite positive. I have, however, seen speculation in the press that in the US, the FTC is considering whether to file a lawsuit to try and block our merger, and that they could do this because of a belief that after our merger closes, Microsoft will make Call of Duty exclusive to Xbox. We don't know what will happen with the regulatory process, but for several reasons, the rumors that Microsoft would make Call of Duty exclusive to Xbox are nonsense. To the contrary, Microsoft has spent the last year promising global regulators tens of millions of players and competing consoles and platforms that they won't do that. Do people really think that Microsoft, one of the world's most respected companies, would risk its reputation and relationships to go back on that promise? But you don't have to take their word for it, or ours. Making Call of Duty exclusive to Xbox doesn't make good business sense. Microsoft would lose billions of dollars in lost sales and would infuriate both PlayStation owners who would lose Call of Duty and Xbox owners who would lose the ability to play with their friends who own PlayStations. The player backlash would be disastrous. It would destroy Microsoft's trust with the players and its brand, something Microsoft has spent decades building and protecting. Just this week, Microsoft announced a 10-year commitment to bring Call of Duty to Nintendo platforms and give players more choice, not less. It also renewed its commitment to continue bringing the franchise to Steam. Valve CEO Gabe Newell commented to the press saying, Microsoft has always followed through on what they told us they would do, so we trust their intentions. We think Microsoft has the motivation they need to be on the platforms and devices where Call of Duty customers want to be. We read that in yesterday's video. You can watch it right here, actually, if you are curious what was said. Continuing on, these actions demonstrate a love and passion for our games and a shared desire to expand our player community to millions of new players around the world. Microsoft's president, Brad Smith, made clear that Microsoft stands ready to make commitments to Sony to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation for an industry-setting length of time. And in the tweet that we brought up again yesterday. It's also wrong to think Call of Duty as untouchable. Now, don't get me wrong. Call of Duty alongside Overwatch, World of Warcraft, Diablo, Candy Crush, and StarCraft is an awesome game. In fact, when word got out at my kid's school that I worked at Activision Blizzard, something I may have helped along, just being associated with Call of Duty, even as a lawyer, turned me into a minor celebrity with my kids' friends. But the game faces massive competition, and more competition is popping up every day. If Microsoft cut off Call of Duty for PlayStation players, those players would simply move to alternative games instead. There's no good reason for Microsoft to drive customers to competitors in that way. This letter is a little longer than I expected. I'm just going to get through it. Bear with me, and then we will talk about the responses to this letter and the responses to the FTC. One final point to consider is that I've talked about to countless Activision Blizzard employees around the company who are excited beyond words about the merger, who are thrilled about partnering with Microsoft to collaborate on building new technologies, utilizing cutting-edge technologies such as artificial intelligence, machine learning, or quantum computing to keep raising the quality of our games, to delight our player community, or open new professional opportunities. Your voices do and should matter. The gaming industry is complex, and we continue to educate regulators on it, but given these facts, approving this merger should be a no-brainer, ideology aside. In the coming days and weeks, we'll keep you updated on our progress. We know this means a lot to our employees and player community, and we're prepared to fight to defend this merger. Activision is also ready to go to court. So you have Microsoft ready to go to court, you know, that trillion-dollar company, and Activision, the company they want to buy, are also willing to go to court. I do not see this being a fight that the FTC wins at the end of the day. Thanks to our entire Activision Blizzard team for doing all that they do to make this such a wonderful company, bringing epic entertainment to hundreds of millions of players, and to make me cool in the eyes of my kids. So that was from Jeb Boatman, who is the Senior Vice President of Litigation over at Activision Blizzard. Now, separately, Lulu Cheng Maservi, who works over at Activision Blizzard, tweeted the following about the news today. The FTC's job is to protect consumers, not competitors. This vote departs from precedent, but the law hasn't changed. Any claim the deal is anti-competitive ignores the facts. The deal benefits gamers and the industry, especially given competition from abroad. We look forward to proving our case in court and closing our deal with Microsoft. These people who are deeply entrenched in this deal going through, including Activision and Microsoft, Sony has succeeded in delaying the inevitable here, but the FTC is about to be embarrassed in court, in my opinion. They have such a weak case that the fact that they would even take it this far looks really, really bad on their part. Rich Hogue, you should definitely go check out his channel and go check out his very long piece, but he tweeted the following about what's going to happen here. Hey folks, on the injunction question, the FTC doesn't need an injunction because Microsoft and Activision Blizzard aren't likely going to close with pending regulatory reviews / litigation. It also serves the FTC's interest because they really don't want this reviewed by a federal court to start. The FTC does not want this to actually go to federal court because they know they're going to lose. So continuing on. In federal court, the FTC has to explain this rather novel complaint to someone outside the family. The FTC has a whole body of rules and papers about what to do if they lose at that level. They could still bring an administrative complaint. But if you aren't worried about the parties sneak closing, thanks in part to your regulator friends overseas, there's no reason to bring in the feds if you can't just have pretend, i.e. more friendly, appealable to yourself court in-house. So what they're saying is, yeah, they're going to take this into their own house and they're going to try to get it knocked out, and they're likely going to fail. Just for some of the FTC's complaints, seems like they're saying Microsoft can't be trusted to not withhold / degrade content. Subscription services are a separate relevant market, and cloud is a separate relevant market. Just my initial impression, need to read the rest though. Yes, and don't forget the Nintendo knockout. Yeah, I just kind of skipped to the latter part of the complaint. One of those people that like to read the ending before the story. So that's the complaint, is that they're going to degrade their content or withhold their content. They've made a commitment to not do that. And this is very clearly a political move. You even see people like Bernie Sanders jumping on it. I applaud the FTC for moving to block this merger. In sector after sector, a handful of giant corporations control what is produced and how much Americans pay for their products. We must stop this dangerous concentration of ownership. This is a step in the right direction. I actually liked Bernie for the most part, but I just feel like he has no clue what he is talking about with this merger. I don't think Bernie Sanders knows anything about video games. Like he has a lot of positive intentions, but on this one, this is probably one of his staffers tweeting this. I don't feel like he has the appropriate context to what is happening in this deal, because it's a lose situation. It's a waste of taxpayers' dollars for the FTC to take this to court so that they can grandstand and make themselves look better. And, you know, Bernie jumping on the chance to get a little bit of clout there makes sense. But I don't think that this is going to go well. Also from over here at Charlie Intel, we saw the following. Bloomberg reports that Microsoft is ready to challenge the FTC in court if the FTC files a suit to block its acquisition of Activision Blizzard. So far, Microsoft has not offered concessions to the U.S. FTC. This is from Bloomberg. Microsoft Corp is ready to fight for its $69 billion acquisition of the gaming company Activision Blizzard if the U.S. FTC files a lawsuit, which I believe they have, seeking to block the deal, according to a person familiar with the matter. The Xbox maker hasn't had conversations with the FTC and remedies, so this was before yesterday when they actually talked to them. FTC is wrapping up its investigation and is expected to make a recommendation soon, the person added. The FTC commissioners would then vote on whether to file a case. They did. In the event the FTC tries to block the case, Microsoft is gearing up to contest that decision in court, said the person who asked not to be identified. Bloomberg Intelligence antitrust analyst Jennifer said it wouldn't surprise her if the FTC files a lawsuit seeking to block the deal, but noted that a court fight would be hard for enforcers to win and Microsoft would prevail through a legal battle, though a legal battle could stretch beyond the deal's end date. Microsoft has said it expects to close the transaction by June 30th. Microsoft's other option would be to abandon the deal in the face of an FTC challenge. That's what the company did in 1995 when the U.S. government sued to block its acquisition of accounting software maker Intuit Inc., with Microsoft saying it didn't want to contend with a long legal battle. Well, Microsoft's going to court on this one, so expect a lot more videos talking about what's happening. I think that's an all-encompassing look at Microsoft's response and some thoughts from this Bloomberg article where they talk about what they think will happen going forward. Now, we've looked at this from a lot of different angles, and it's going to be really interesting to see what happens. I don't know when this actually goes to court, but when it does, it's going to be very interesting. And I am starting to wonder, are Sony's documents going to be drug out into the sunlight? Are Microsoft's dirty laundry going to be drug out into the sunlight? What is going to happen going forward from here? I don't see a strong case on the FTC's part, but it's going to be really interesting to watch. And be sure you're subscribed so you know when the content goes live. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I do appreciate it. And thank you to all of the members. I really, really appreciate you so much for watching. If you want to become a member, click that join button right down there and support the channel. I'm going to get out of here. I'm a little tired, so I'll see you for the next one. Bye for now, everybody.